Warning: this program includes content that some viewers may consider graphic or disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Actress Kadian says Harvey Weinstein invited her to his hotel room during the Cannes Film Festival in 2014 to talk about her career. But when she got to his room, she says Weinstein sexually assaulted her. Here's what she told Seema about that day.
Can you tell me what happened next in the bathroom?
So he led me in the bathroom, and then he stood me in front of the mirror, and he had grip of me, and I remember I had like just the top of a little thing, almost like this. And
Were you wearing a dress? Or what?
Yeah, I was wearing a dress, and he stood behind me and he was looking at me from behind, like facing the mirror. I faced me in front of the mirror and he stood behind me. And I'm like, oh, can I go now? It was just me mumbling. If I'm honest with you, I'm mumbling. I am not shouting at him, I'm mumbling.
Just take your time and there's no rush.
Yeah, I'm mumbling. I'm like in fear of him and how powerful he is, and how can I make him feel like I am doubting him. But he wouldn't let go of me, and he then pushed his leg between my thighs whilst he stood me in front of the mirror. And he started to pull down my thing, and I'm like shuffling, and he would just grip me and he's like, just relax. That was his favorite word. Relax, everything's gonna be taken care of, everything's gonna be taken care of, just trust me. And that went on for a while, me shuffling and him doing that and thing, and then he turned me around and he had grip of me whilst he was unbuckling his trousers, and I remember him saying to me, don't worry, I'm not gonna get you to suck it. That was because he could see how scared I was, and basically this little vulnerable person who possibly wants to move forward in life so much, who he has in his corner. And I guess he knows that he has me there, and I'm scared to leave. I'm shuffling, but I'm not going anywhere because he's gripping me. I'm not, you know, when I look back, it's like, why was I not slapping this man, kicking him? But at that time I had a lot of respect for him, and it was just happening too fast for me to be thinking I need to do whatever in my power to get away, because I was almost under his spell of thinking, like, how can you doubt him? And his tone, his presence, it was almost like he's like this God that's like, how dare you disobey me? I can't explain it. It's really weird now because I think, who the hell is he? But when you're with him, it feels like that. Like how dare you disobey me?
What happened when he was unbuttoning his trousers?
He unbuckled his trousers, and he wouldn't let go of me the whole time. He wouldn't, and he said, don't worry, I'm not gonna get you to suck it. And then he pulled his private parts out, and he was helping himself to, you know, to whatever pleasures he wanted to give himself.
Was he masturbating?
Yes, he was masturbating, and he then gripped my hand. He had me in, and he took the hand he was using. So he wouldn't let go of me the whole time, and then he took the hand that he was using too, and he then put that hand, my hand, on his, and like I literally felt, it's like you feel like, is this, you can't believe, because you don't know how it got to this point so quickly, because it seems like it's just like it's like a blur, and you're there, and it's confusing, and it's happening, and it doesn't make sense, and then before you know it, this man is saying whatever, and I'm still looking at him as this powerful person, and it still makes no sense how we are here in the bathroom with my hand like being forced around his and being led to masturbate him. And it's just such an embarrassing thing to talk about, because you feel, how did I make this happen to myself? But when you're there, it's almost like you shut down. You know it's wrong, and you're saying no, and you're being forced, and you're being soothed by his words and his strength, his power in presence of who Harvey Weinstein is. I don't know, it's almost like he breaks you down mentally to feel, who are you to question me? And it's crazy now looking back, but that's it. You shut down to the presence of this man who is meant to be such a powerful force in the industry. And how can you question this person who could turn your life around? You would never be in that situation by choice, but it forces you to question everything that you're about and what you believe in. Sorry. It's kind of like sad when I think about it, because it's hard to think like how I got there in the first place. Now I look back, it's like I can see clearly, but at the time you're just in awe of him, and you believe in him, and when you come from like the Caribbean and you're just this girl that's trying to make things happen, and it hasn't been a straightforward journey, and being a single mother and just trying to find your way, and there's a lot of people that have their ups and downs, you know, and their life aren't straightforward. And I'm not saying my life's the worst, but when you then have somebody like that approach you. So that's what happened, and he just got me to do what he was doing, which was masturbate, and then he just all over the floor, and he then just acted like nothing happened and just stepped over it and just zipped himself up and says, yeah, we're gonna take care of everything. Yeah, we're gonna we'll get in touch with you. And it was just, you kind of know at that point that it's like, nothing made sense, because it's like, I'd never had an experience like that. So it was like, how can this be the person that I believe in so much? How did this just happen so quickly? So, yeah, so that's what happened with him. It's weird talking about it, because I feel so stupid now, but it happened so quick. Like, when I explain it, it sounds like it's such a story, but it gets in your head, and it's power of you knowing his background and his presence and his confidence when projecting. It makes you feel, how dare you? That's how it makes you feel.
And Court TV Live, Seema Iyer is still with me. What's it like to be in that room at that moment as you see that she's now going through it and taking herself and all of us into that hotel room?
This is tough to watch. Kadian is a very delightful young lady, you know, and we started off the interview and she talked about how she grew up in the Caribbean, picking mangoes, barefoot, sunshine, and she really is like a very special young lady. So you feel all of that ambition and hope and what her mom went through to give her a better life. And there was no reason, you know what the worst part of these stories is? When good people believe in the good of others and then things like that happen to them. That is what destroys me. That is what is so...
It's devastating. And as you listen to a story from an accuser like that, and you're wondering, okay, you know, is she telling the truth? Is she not telling the truth? Well, I mean, you listen to it, you can tell she's living it. And whatever she is speaking just comes across so real. And I want to take us back again. There is a rape trial that's going to happen in January. There are going to be accusers who are going to take the stand. Stories like this are devastating.
I believe the Manhattan DA's office knows about Kadian Noble. She does have a civil lawsuit, a federal civil lawsuit. I have spoken to her lawyer as well. And she won't be part of the Weinstein case in that respect. But the DA's office certainly knows about her. Her lawyer reached out to NYPD. They've reached out to the authorities in France as well. So she tried to, at least when she was ready to speak out, go to the appropriate authorities. And
you go back, and a couple of themes she has is that I'm embarrassed. How did I let this happen? And those are, again, common themes that we're hearing from all accusers. It's kind of the same.
Just like Hope said she shut down, Kadian said she shut down. That is a very common theme, I think, because since 2014, every day, if not multiple times a day, Kadian is asking herself, why did I go into that room?
2014, Harvey Weinstein is different than 1978 Harvey Weinstein. 2014, none of this is really coming out yet, right?
No, it hasn't come out. But the first public accuser was actually 2015, but that was the Manhattan DA's office, the Wire, and that was Ambra Batalana Gutierrez. We spoke about this yesterday. And DA's office didn't pursue charges. But 2014, Harvey Weinstein, when Kadian met Harvey, she met Harvey with Oprah.
With Oprah?
With Oprah. So Kadian, and she talks about this in an interview, and you know, before the trial, during the trial, we'll play the whole interview. She talks about the fact that if Oprah's with Harvey, then why should I worry about it? I mean, Oprah is like the world's mom. Who is not going to trust the person who's next to Oprah?
It's unreal, and he's at his peak in 2014. I mean,
yes.
He's a star maker. He is the one who makes careers, who gets the Academy to give awards to actors.
Yes. You remember and I think we played that as well. When Gwyneth Paltrow accepted her Oscar for Shakespeare in Love, she thanked Harvey Weinstein, as did many actors.
So as we speak with these accusers who are telling these stories, obviously there's going to be another side to all of this. And again, with this story, do the defense attorneys have anything to say about this?
Well, let me just say one thing. Would you, and just logically, does anyone want to go on television for that? You know, I mean, when people talk about the motivation to lie, for what? She's a model. She's an actress. She won Britain's Top Model. Does she want to be on television to talk about that? Does she want to go to court?
She wants to be acting.
Right. And now she wants to find some good and send a message. And she has a young daughter. She wants to do the right thing for her daughter. I met her daughter. You know, this is, if anybody doesn't believe them, how do you not believe that?
Yeah. There always will be another side, and that's why we're having a trial in January.
Exactly. And so Kadian, although she's not part of the trial, I do believe that the attorneys have spoken, and they said that in the clips we showed last night, that these lawyers know every single accusation and the foundation for the accusations.
So this type of conduct, right, and you've studied the case that's coming up again in January 2020, Court TV will be covering. Are these accusers going to have similar stories to what we're hearing here? Do we believe? Because I know there's been a lot that hasn't been released, a lot that's been sealed. There have been hearings where the public has not been privy to.
The two main accusers, one, the 2013, the rumors are that she had a consensual relationship with Harvey Weinstein, so I don't think it was a similar to Kadian or Hope. And the 2006 accuser, she may have more of a similar type of accusation. And then there are the three witness accusers. Two were from New York incidents. One is from the Peninsula Hotel in Los Angeles. So again, you know, that setup of going to the office or going to the hotel room. So those are what we call modus operandi, right? So it's always the same thing. I want to have a meeting, let's go to the office. I want to have a meeting, let's go to the hotel room.
So at this point where we are, and I think the big question people have is, why only two accusers for the criminal case if all these other women, like the ones we're listening to tonight, all have stories and allegations? Why, when he goes to trial,
Sure.
is it just two women?
I don't know, and I'll say this. Okay, so after October 2017, New York and Scotland Yard actually they opened up their investigations, and New York started with 3 accusers and now is down to 2. When it comes to Scotland Yard, no indictments, nothing like that has happened. And then soon after that, Los Angeles, they opened a special investigation, and no indictments have come out of that. And I actually have been speaking to an accuser where she is wondering why they never filed a case on her behalf. So we're actually investigating that right now. We're trying to figure out why that didn't happen, because it doesn't make sense. There's a list of 87 accusers, and to be clear, this spans the United States as well as France, England. So this is not just New York or LA centric.